I had to shave. What's up? Made money shorting the market. I had to shave. Hello out there, your favorite internet troll. I was trolling some websites today as I'm dying to hear what people are going to be doing on earnings reports. Uh, you know, I've been only doing this for 30 years. I know a little bit about the business. Buying stocks, ridiculous idea before earnings come out because, first of all, you never know how the stock's going to react to the earnings report. You never know what they're going to say. You're never going to know what the guidance is going to be. You could blow out the number and then the guidance is bad, or you could be getting crushed on the number and then the guidance is good. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen ever. Obviously, we like to trade intraday where you have a little bit of an advantage trading around VWAP and range breaks. We're now 20 for 20 on earnings reversals. Two more today. They were kind of slow, but Hog worked over the VWAP. UTX was phenomenal. We had another downgrade buy opportunity. Again, one of my favorite trades is the opposite of the analyst call. It's been working forever. The idea is that you have a stock that's trying to break out, and there's an analyst who gets paid off by either a fund or a big client that still hasn't got enough shares. So they pay off the analyst to downgrade the stock to make the stock go back. Or the guy so inept and awful, like the Goldman Sachs call in AMD to short it at $4, $5, and $7.50, as we should never forget that call ever. I'm sure I'll remind you for the rest of your lives. The idea is that they probably have a client who is in a bad position, a la short the AMD, or let's say short DDD. DDD was on the verge of breaking out through that $12 number the other day. So it sold off a little bit. And what the analyst does is now it takes an opportunity to put a sell recommendation on that little weakness to make it get a little bit more weak so they can cover their short and get out of the position. If you notice what DDD did was, here's a stock that got downgraded, did not have a down tick. I'm exaggerating. Of course, it had a down tick, but it hadn't had a down move since the open. Do you think that's a coincidence? The answer is no. So again, going and trolling some of these websites, they were talking about doing call spreads in eBay, call spreads in Apple, and doing I guess we would call it a out of the money strangle on Xilinx. And again, as any good skeptic, I said, I've been in there for months and months. I'm actually surprised I got 3 individual plays today. And I politely said, do you guys have any luck buying options into earnings reports? No response. Why don't you just trade the stock after the report comes out so the options are the volatility pricing gets taken out of the option, and then if they have a follow-through move, you're buying the same options that you're looking at 80% cheaper the next day. Why not do that? No response. So I traded Rambus today, UTX, Hog, Uber, and Triple D. Profitable trades, right? Starbucks comes out with the numbers, knee-jerk reaction is up. Next thing you know, it's spiking down, double bottom, starts to rally back up. We're thinking long. And then next thing you know, it couldn't get over our multi-day VWAP, confirming the short idea. And then it went red. There's your typical earnings reversal, and that would be number 19 in a row. And then obviously AMD was number 20, and then eBay, which again, I'm not going to say I was in it, but knee-jerk reaction was up, rolls over back through the VWAP at $36.11. The multi-day VWAP is $35.64, making that one also a short. So in theory, 3 earnings reversals in the aftermarket, 3 positive trades. And let me reiterate, I own no stock except for Space now, and dividend-paying gold stock, and a dividend-paying tobacco company. I'm out of the market. My dad refuses to sell the QQQ, and obviously he knows more than me. The market never goes down, so that's my holding. For me, personal money, space, all in, and I've been writing calls against it to hedge myself as I wait for the stock to go to, back to 30 or hopefully 50 and 100. Only stock I own, and I might, I'll debate whether or not, because I'm in it long term, so I'm not supposed to be too concerned about every single earnings report that comes out. We know they're not going to make any money. It's not going to be any surprise to anybody when they report that they're hemorrhaging cash, and chances are they'll never ever make money. It's a spec play on space travel. That's it. But as far as day trading is concerned, just building up a track record, raising some money, and you guys, whoever's out there, look, if you join the family and we train you well enough, I could find you money to trade. But you have to sign a document and you have to promise to never trade anything on your own. And if you do, you're fined and you lose all your money. And I find that to be a really nice trade-off, because all I'm asking you to do is follow the rules of the trades that make money. Should be pretty much an easy rule to follow. But as I've seen over the last 20 years, I could tell somebody that something works 100% of the time, and they'll still go trade JNUG in my account and blow it up. Or they'll go and buy BlackBerry options on a takeover rumor. Or they'll buy $200 out of the money calls in Ameren, hoping it gets taken over. And you know who I'm talking about. So really, there are parameters. I'm not going to give you money, obviously. But if you become a member of our room, I train you well enough, you show me that you know how to pay attention, I will get in a trading account for you where you just come up with a little bit of a buffer. And I'm talking about $2,000, $3,000 to show a sign of good faith that you're not completely broken insane. And I'll find the rest of the money for you. And you trade my ideas, and you'll get 20% for pressing buttons. And if it works out, 3 months in, you're like, hey, listen, I get it. I'm going out on my own. I don't need your money anymore. And then I'll get the next guy. So it's a good way to learn, a good way to get some leverage, a good way to, participate in all of this stuff if you're not at that point where you can put 30 grand in an account. So I have got some access to a lot of different, ways to help. But what I have found is that I could show somebody that works. I could show guys something that works 100% of the time, but they'll consistently bet on options going into earnings reports. So anyway, right now they're 0 for 3. All right. And again, I will admit I am jealous and I'm stupefied and flabbergasted and mortified. I don't know if most of those guys are bots, but again, 1,700 people in a chat room, maybe let's call it 500 people are legitimate human beings. I'm sure there's a lot of bots on there. They probably pay people to go into the room. But he finally made 3 specific calls. So they're doing the complete opposite of what I believe makes money, which is awesome. Okay? So partially I'm flabbergasted and stupefied and amazed that 1,700 people show up to this guy's chat room every day. But I would also assume that after you go 0 for 3 and then 2 months later or the next day you go 0 for 2 and then you get crushed on another option play, and then where does the losing finally say, okay, this guy is not doing a good job, maybe I should seek different help? When does that kick in? 0 for 10? 0 for 50? I go 2 for 3 every day. Two for 3. I'm fine with that. You give me 2 for 3 every day. I'm not worried about viruses, man. No, man, I love a virus. Because right now, in the midst of everything, Friday was the best day we've ever had in the history of our website. Just throw that one out there. And Friday was kind of boring, but we had 3 reversals that worked. Sorry, Friday was awesome. Yesterday was kind of boring because I thought there'd be more activity. Today was awful because most stocks were just trending slowly up. There was nothing to do. But once we got VWAP breaks on Uber and Hog, we got paid on those. We got paid on DDD off the awful downgrade. And then in the aftermarket, we had 3 earnings reversals. UTX was pretty good. You know, that one I gave up on a little bit too early. Lost on 2 hogs, but made on 4 hogs. I was on the hog. And right now, Apple's a short. You know, again, I was hoping, beyond hope, that they would run this thing as far as they possibly could. But right now, it's not cooperating. I mean, obviously, I was looking to short it because I will short any stock that's gapped up. I don't care how awesome the news is. I don't care what they've said. Any gap, to me, is a sell until it breaks the ranges. So right now, you've got clear indication of where, if you are short Apple, you just broke down under this 324. You shouldn't cover unless it breaks 324. That's it. It's the end of the story. So 324 is a massive level, right? So now you've come down and you've made a double bottom at 321.50. You break 321.50, you're going to test probably where this thing came from, and that's giving it all back. So now you got to be looking for 319.40 is where you're going now. And some of these guys are already short Apple. Congratulations. You want to be shorting stocks that gap up. Am I telling you that Apple's going to go negative and go down 8 points tomorrow? I hope it does, but not right now. Because right now you want some of this to be left over for tomorrow if you're not short already. If you're short already, there's no covering right here yet. You know, you're looking to see if this thing breaks this 321. 321, you're getting 319.40. 319.40, now you're talking full-blown reversal like you got in AMD and like you got in Starbucks. Okay, you got $1 trillion company that just doubled in value going into this number pretty much, unless they have now cured cancer with their iPhones. You had to think there'd be some profit taking. Think about what you would do, right? You just held Apple into a report. You're sitting on a massive profit. So any weakness now is going to beget, and you're going to get more sellers because nobody's going to want to give this money back. You did the brave thing and held it into the number, all-time highs in the aftermarket, and now it's giving it back. You're going to want to sell and sell and sell and sell some more. Now, I'm hoping this thing stops here, even though, you know, I'm short my 8 shares now just for shits and giggles. But I want it to go. The last thing I want this thing to do right now, yes, you can actually. Thank you, man. Yeah, it's out there. But I do that presentation every day. I was powering through that thing, you know, trying to get as much information as possible. Anyway, hold on a second. This, you know, might have to add to the Apple short here. I'm digging this trade because I think you're going to get that you're looking at a 319.22. So 2 more points to the downside if it can break down right here. But you're finally finding some support, getting some buyers right now. I, for one, will pray that this thing stays strong. 319.22 is the danger zone. right there. So that's important. No, I'm not buying it back. I got 8 shares short right now, just at 324, just to prove I know what I'm saying and what I'm doing. I caught AMD short at 89.15. That was my better one. I got some AMD at 50 when it broke the big number at 50. Again, I don't really trade too aggressively anymore in general. So aftermarket, I'm pretty much goofing around. The lack of the lack of liquidity in the aftermarket can really get you in trouble. But if you're on the right side, that lack of liquidity pays you that much faster. So right now, and the reason I shorted Apple is that AMD sold off, Starbucks sold off, and I'm just looking for that trend to continue of the gap being sold into. Right now, you're getting, you know what? I mean, if I had any meaningful size on Apple, 2285 would be my cover spot, right smack dab in the middle. 2285. Anybody else want to join us? Again, just email me, or I'm the warlock at hitthebid.com, or info at hitthebid.com. My man will get back to you, the Minotaur. And if you have any medieval names you want to be nicknamed, well, I'll be glad to. We need a lady wizard. We need the Witcher. We got the Minotaur. We got the Wizard. We got the Warlock. We have the Magic 8-Ball. And if you have your own sword, it would be better if you brought your own sword. That's what I'm getting for Father's Day this year. Again, a Japanese sword for my collection. You guys ever see my sword? Some of you guys might be new, right? You think I'm joking around, man. This is the one I wear into battle. I also have a massive Conan broadsword. I'll chop your head off with it. But I want to get myself a nice Japanese sword, a real one, not one of those fake. Put them up on your wall. I want something I could slice and cause some damage. So if you guys are out there, I bet you some of you guys thought you were going to make some real money on UVXY this week, right? Flesh-eating disease, 90,000 people dead, right? Covering up, can't travel. Earnings season's coming. World's coming to an end. Volcanoes. And yet you still got hammered if you held your UVXY one extra day. And now your Apple would have been covered. See that spike right there? There's your stop hunter. Gets everybody out. Now, the price that we just got down to will be quite significant again tomorrow. That 320 area. So I'm hoping that we gap up. Gives me more room to short it. Starbucks, I'll be looking for a short. AMD, I'll be looking for a short. Now, again, if these gap down tomorrow and just start rolling over, probably not even going to be trading them, because that's not what I trade. I want gaps to be filled. I want VWAPs to be violated. I want rollovers or breakouts. So if they're gapping down and they just start tanking at the open, probably not going to do anything about it. So I hope somehow Starbucks gaps up, AMD gaps up, and I hope this Apple can get above 325 again. Maybe do this trade again. It's about to get back to the bottom of that where it broke down from, that 324. Now, obviously, I probably should have, if I had some meaningful size, I would have covered, maybe got long too, but there's your move. Just got right back to the bottom of the prior range where it came from. So this is the range that'll come into play tomorrow, this 320, 324 area. It's going to be significant. You know what else though? You know what else happened on Friday that was interesting? We were selling off anyway, but then there was a rumor that they were covering up how bad the numbers were. That was a rumor. So there was this rumor that went around that 90,000 people were dead in China, and they were covering up the massive pandemic. That was when we kind of capitulated. And then once that wasn't confirmed or anything, or whatever the case may be, maybe it still is the truth, who knows, but you had the rally. Most of yesterday's selling was on the gap. That's why yesterday was kind of boring. We just gapped, didn't really have a substantial rally, but it was something to do. And all through it all, I'll mention this one more time and I'm going to go make dinner. PCG. All right. I'm never going to tell anybody to own stocks, but if you're going to own a stock, how about one that's killing people, burning down the state, trying to cover it up, yet the stock goes up every day? What does that tell you? They're not going out of business. The shorts are on the wrong side and the stock's going higher. And I've been saying that since it got back over 750, when it got over 10, and now that it's at 15. If you want to play this thing, there are long-term options in PCG. I was looking at a $15, $30 call spread going way out, go out in a year. You're paying a lot for the 15s, but you're going to hedge yourself by selling the calls on top. I'm talking about giving yourself an entire year. So next January's, right? The 15s cost you 4. So obviously your break-even price is 19. So what do? You buy the 15s for 4, right? And go out there and sell yourself some 25s for, let's say, $1. Maybe sprinkle in some 28s and 30s for 55 or 60 cents. So then the stock, slowly grinds up to 20, 25. Your 15s that you paid 4 for, you'll get a couple of dollars out of that. And the ones that you sold will expire worthless. So let's say if you buy a 15 for 4 and you start selling, let's say the 28s, I think you could probably get, let's call it 75 cents for a 28. Now, I wouldn't go crazy, but check this out. You got the 15s at 4, so you sell 2. Say for every 1 contract, you sell 2 28s for, let's say, $1. If you get $1, that'd be great. Or let's make the math easy. The 30s for 50. Buy yourself the 15s for 4 and sell yourself 2 30s. You take it $1. Trade goes completely against you. You're out $3. Stock goes to 25. Your 15s are worth 10, and you get to keep the money on the ones that you sold up there in the 30s. That's the way I'd play this thing. Give yourself plenty of time for there to have earnings come out, some bad news, some good news. You got long-term option. You pay up for the option. Doesn't look such a bad idea. The reason I mentioned PCG with options is that at least if we're wrong about this trade and PCG does go out of business, you're only exposed to that 4 points. or really 3 points. All right. And on that note, if you'd like to come hang out, sadly, I've got another funeral tomorrow to go to, so I'll be out probably till 1 o'clock. You'll be in the capable hands of the Matrix. What's up? We already know what we're trading tomorrow, so we got a heads up, and then whoever reports tomorrow morning. And then Thursday night, I'll probably be around. We'll start doing our schmooze. So if you don't know about options, we do a late night session. What's up? I know. We do a late night session, let's say Thursday, like 9 o'clock my time. And, have a couple of cocktails, talk about earnings reports, and plan for our attack with some weekly options. All right. On that note, I should play some Manowar on the way out, but every time I put music on one of my videos, it gets banned immediately from YouTube. So I'll imagine myself listening to what's the song I love so much? Black Wind, Fire, and Steel. If you like metal, check out Manowar. Black Wind, Fire, and Steel. I'll give you the link. And guess what? Another guy selling an options course on one of my videos. There he is. Yes, options course. Everybody's selling something. Everybody's so smart. All right. Enjoy that song. I'll see you guys tomorrow, probably tomorrow afternoon. Remember, life is short. Enjoy it as much as you possibly can. I was wearing my Kobe hat today. You want to see my cool? I'm a real Lakers fan. Let me show you my hat. Oh, that didn't work out. Look, I even got dressed today. It's crazy. I don't know where my hat is. Anywho, I got a hat from like one of the original sports specialties hats. Apparently, they're worth a lot of money now. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, Apple's down 12 points after I short it tomorrow. All right. Be well and don't fear the Reaper. Good luck, everybody. I'll see you. Email me if you want in. We got another class coming probably in 2.5 weeks. If anybody wants to learn a little bit more about these VWAP trades that work pretty much every time. All right. Good luck and good night.